Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Analyze Your Trade. This is one of my favorite shows that David is hosting, and we're going to be talking a lot about stocks. So I'm really anxious to see what you guys have on your watch list for 2024, or at least for the first quarter or the first month, or let's say the second week of this 2024. So let's rock the market together. And my name is Anka Metcalf. I'm the CEO and founder of TradeOutLoud.com. Trade Out Loud is a boutique firm that is specialized in educating individuals how to day trade, swing trade, and actively invest in the stock market, and not alone in the futures market as well. I come with 10 plus years with investment banking. I also run two services. I run a service for swing traders. And in fact, this is what put us on the map with Trade Out Loud, because the service is actually 14 years old. We actually created this January 1st. It was January 21st, 2010. And we're very excited to celebrate its birthday this month. I also run a trading room. This is a later edition since 2017, and it is designed for futures trading, and it's designed just to trade only the power hour. And I'm going to share with you some facts if you guys would like to know more about it towards the end of the presentation. I am ready for your questions, and let's get into some charting right here, and let's see where we start. All right, so let me know. You guys guide me, and I will give you my take on the market and see where we're at. And by the way, in the stock swing trader, I sent it last night to our members, and we have a hot list of 30 stocks. And we also posted about 10 or 11 stocks in yesterday's trading, and these are all for this week. A lot of trades. All right, the first symbol is coming in, and this is the TQQQ. All right, here it is, TQQQ. These are pro shares, ultra pro Qs. The chart pattern is absolutely a carbon copy of the Qs, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about it. This is the daily chart that you guys see here. And what we have in it is basically a power trend, right? So we have a massive power trend going on. So if I squish the chart just a little bit here, you guys are going to see that we have a massive move to the upside. We had a pullback, a retest with a higher low, confirming that the price action is rotating and going back up. And then we had another pullback with a higher low, confirming that, yes, this is actually the third higher low from this double bottom formation that we had in 2018, end of 2018 and 2020. And we are starting to move higher. So this is the monthly chart. So the bias is bullish on the monthly chart. I also want to take you a little bit further. I'm really not sure if the traders that were before me, or even in yesterday, took you to really higher time frames to show you some really interesting facts. And the fact is that quarterly charts are very bullish. You could see that we had a tremendous quarter that we closed in December, the end of December, and right now we're actually having the launch pad to try to tackle on. Well, let me tell you something really interesting. If the price action is going to try to get sometimes through this quarter above $52 and a penny, the blast and the squeeze is going to be of massive proportions that can take the price action really higher. Now, I want to show you another chart, and I want you guys to be super, super honest. How many of you guys have ever looked at yearly charts? Type a 1 in here if you have ever looked in your life at yearly charts. And I will show you the significance of those yearly charts. Type a 1 in the chat box if you have ever analyzed the weekly charts. Okay. All right. So nobody. All right. So I'm going to tell you that, okay, there's some of you guys, 1, 2, 3, 3 people out of so many traders that are in here today. Let me share you one fact. These charts are very significant when the price action is trading either into the upper part let's say into the upper 25% of the prior high candle, or in the bottom 25% of the prior candle. And what this means is that it's setting its positioning for the following year. So basically we have a high last year that is right here into that $52, right? So what this means is that when we get the price trading above this high, it's going to produce a trigger. Now, this is a win bar. Typically what happens is that the price follows the prior color candle about 90% of the time. It will continue into the prior color candle 90% of the time. So that means that if the price within, let's say, this month or this year or at any point in time will trade above $52, the price action is going to trigger a massive squeeze higher. More so, the yearly high also coincides with the quarterly high. So this is going to be a double whammy for price. So this $52 is going to be a massive trigger for price. You could see it here as well. So onto the monthly chart, we already have tackled the prior low. And in fact, if you can see here, the pullback that we currently have within this last week of trading came in, tested. You can see that little volatility wick to the downside, tested the prior high before launching a little bit higher. So we kind of have that hammer formation. Now, again, this candle will close at the end of the month. So this is not very significant, but what is significant at this point is the pullback and punch higher. So it came into the $47 area, it punched higher. So in the short term, if we trigger above, again, we have that $52 top, that will trigger a big squeeze. That will make the price continue to about $62 to $64. And then we get over this zone, we have room to create, actually, we can create traction all the way into this prior high. The weekly is also very significant here because we're coming into a huge inflection. So if you are asking about a long position in TQQQ, I could tell you right now that $49.50 is the trigger point. So at any point in time this week, if you have a trigger point, that it represents a buy point, a strong buy point. So you could take it over $49.50 or anywhere above $43, but not at 43. You want to see the price confirm and show you that it's ready to trade above the prior candle high. And in this case, we have the weekly high. And then place your stop around this 10 exponential moving average that I have, which also coincides with last week's low. Very convenient location, beautiful pullback. As you guys know, I don't use a lot of indicators. And as you guys see, I don't use a lot of indicators on my charts. However, the indicators that are used are very, very powerful in showing me the potential move and the potential reaction of price. And this is on the weekly chart. The daily chart has already triggered and has already triggered at $47. So this is going to be a 3-stage type of trade. If you're not in and the early trigger was $47, and I'm going to show you in comparison what I have done in my personal account, because I have initiated a trade in the Qs yesterday. So if you could see here, this $47 is a buy zone. It's a buy zone because it's a prior minor support level deriving from that pivot high that I showed you onto the monthly chart and the quarterly chart, which had propelled the price higher. Notice that the price action is borderline with this 20 SMA. And this is one of the problems that we had in the technical pattern because we didn't have a close above. And it seems that today we also have the same kind of borderline reaction into the 20 SMA. So the first buy initiated at $47.15. The second buy is going to happen tomorrow if the price action is going to take out the $49.43. And the third stage is going to be over $52. So all these represent really solid buy areas. And like I've mentioned before, the stop for the trade is relatively pretty awesome because you could have a smaller risk at $44.80 that is derived from the daily pivot here. So I want to show you in comparison the chart of the Qs. This is the trade that I have executed in yesterday's trading session, and we have our entry right here of $400 and $400.15. And the price action continued higher, closed above in the Qs. So the Qs were a little bit stronger, continued a little bit higher above this 20 SMA. And today we actually got the continuation higher. So we have a brand new high. This is actually super cool because this shows us that the price action may be getting ready for a new momentum to the upside. The other thing that I'm stocking right now is this weekly rotation. And again, this is a two-stage type of trade with the first entry that was here at $400.15. I got it at 20 cents because I wanted to make sure that the price action is tackling really well that 15. And the second stage of the trade is going to be above today's high. You could see it right here, 406.09, and today's high is 406.69. So we have about a 50 to 55 point range that we need to tackle and confirm into tomorrow. If the price action is going to get over this level, there is, I have no doubt in my mind that we are going to start trading above the prior high, and we will be setting record highs for the Qs. So keep it in mind, your trade, the TQQQ, is going to enter a squeeze, a major squeeze, because it does have a lot of tradable void to the upside. But be very careful because tomorrow is going to be pretty much the same day, same kind of continuation day like today. We don't have a lot of releases. We're ahead of earnings, and the big, let's say, momentum play and potential continuation or rejection into the market is going to come on Thursday, when we have the CPI number. So these are going to be really strong for the market. This is the biggest event that is currently going to have a big reaction since the beginning of the year. All right, so I'm going to take the next question, but not before I answer BJ's question. What moving averages do you use? I use the 10 exponential moving average. I use the 200 simple moving, I use the 20 simple moving average. So this is the 10 exponential moving average. Is the only exponential moving average that I use. And this I use for my dynamic swing trades and also for day trading. I use the 20 simple moving average, 50 simple moving average, and the 200 simple moving average. So I just wanted to share with you this post real quick with you guys right here, because I was mentioning that we did actually take the Qs over $400.20. We will be bullish. We will be looking to buy over $400.20, stop under 394. This is the chart that I have sent out to my traders yesterday before the trigger. So you can see here the trade, the ETF was trading at $397, and we called the trade at $400 here. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. All right, so I'm ready for the next symbol, which is TMHC. All right, so let's take this out. TMC. Oh, I'm sorry. It is I'm not sure I ever traded this stock. TMHC. Okay, here it is. No, I really did not ever trade this stock in my 20 plus years. All right, so let's talk about this stock a little bit. So I'm going to go far out on the monthly, and so far last month we had a big blast and big pop into this stock. I'm seeing the volume is a little bit lower here, and it is a little bit topping, but everything is kind of like into this situation and into this pattern. And remember that we could have overbought conditions that can last not only for months, but can last for years. So this is some kind of the new normalcy that we can have into the market. So the monthly chart is showing that currently we're trading within an inside month. The weekly chart is showing that the price action is kind of trying to digest this prior high. It blasted before, but now it's pulling back. I like the fact that it's pulling back into this prior high area because it shows strength and it shows domination towards the upside. And then again here onto the daily, the price action may be getting ready to trigger higher. So I like it over yesterday's high. $52 because we need to see it above this 10 EMA. And for the target, I think the stock is going to be heading towards the $54.45 into the prior high. In fact, the high that we set in December, towards the end of December. So this is a strong buy point. The stop I would choose below the pivot, $49.80, and the entry would be here. All right, the next one is MMSI. Okay, MMSI. This is another one that I don't think I've ever traded. All right, so let's take it to the monthly chart. The monthly chart shows strength and continuation. The price action has been into a continuation pattern since November. So it has had a very volatile November, and then it's charging higher. It's on its directional bias is higher. $85 for the target that is coming from the monthly chart. Be very careful because it may stumble upon some resistance between $79 and $80. So what happens with this resistance is that the price is either going to digest it, continue higher into this massive consolidation into the $85, or it's going to turn around. It's going to further pull back. So that's, the risk that you're having with targets. I always like to scale a little bit into targets. And then watch to see if I can add my shares back or if I'm just going to leave the shares that I have remaining. But definitely it's going to come into a really turbulent zone between $79 and $80. And if over, like I said, it's going to start breaking out. It has had the real massive consolidation into the $85. And in fact, it stayed here for, oh my goodness, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, almost 13 weeks. Yikes. That's a really long time. All right. The next stock that I'm going to tackle is TNet. All right, so TNet, again, very strong, positioning for higher. I'm going to go here to the monthly. So obviously really strong uptrend. It is trying to tackle last month. Last month, we had a brand new high. It traded above the high from October. It's definitely positioning for higher, so it does want to go higher. I like the dominance into the upside. I like the fact that, it's holding above the 20 SMA. I always like to trade in sync with the 20 SMA, so this is really good. And it does have a little bit of room for higher. And in fact, if you would like to see, let me just check this. Yeah, it's trading into close to all-time highs. But if you would like to have further targets on this trade, we could actually do a calculation here. And it does have a lot of room for higher. It has room to 125, 127, 135. So it's really nicely positioned for higher. Great catch on this one. Pay attention to volume. I typically don't trade any stocks that are trading below 1 million shares on a day-to-day basis. The next stock is AZO. All right, this is a massive, 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 massive push to the upside. You could see here that there's this massive power trend that is continuing higher. It's into a pullback phase. However, take a look at the common denominator. So where did this stock pull back most of the time? It came into the 50 SMA, 50 SMA, 50 SMA, 50 SMA here. So it's kind of like rooting into the 50 SMA. So this is its dominance. This is where it likes to kind of like pull back and then reverse. At this point in time, there is no buy signal into it and there's no sell signal because it is into a support zone and it's trading into this chop right here. So you could see that basically we have a huge range to clear before continuing higher. Definitely you could have tighter entries into this, but it's not ready to commit on either side of the tape just yet. So I would revisit it next week and I would see if the price action next week is going to be able to trade above this week's high. And that would be a confirmation that the price action is going to continue higher. If not, just let it go. There are 6,000 other stocks that you can take a look at. Tesla. I actually looked today at Tesla, and I find it interesting that it's into a pullback phase. It's finding the high, lower high scenario, but at the same time, we have the high, higher, we have the low, higher low, and a higher low scenario. So what I'm looking at here is that it could have a squeeze in either direction. So hear me out. So what we can see here is that we have this perfect triangle, right? We have the momentum of strength that is actually stronger than the declining highs over here. So we're coming from a bottom in last year in January. So this whole build up took a whole year. I would actually stock this going into next week, because if next week, and just like I said, if next week we're going to tackle, let's say, this week's high, and again, it's very early to tell. This week, it needs to take out the high of last week. So that is the 251.25. If it's not going to take out this week, it's not going to execute a buy signal. And it's just going to meander. Plus, the price action is trading below the 10 EMA and 20 SMA, and is trading right in the middle between the 200 SMA and the 50 SMA that you have here. So every time the price action is kind of, caught into these moving averages, it's just going to bounce around, and you're not going to have any kind of follow through in the trade. So it may still continue a little bit lower, and then it can bounce back and forth. You need to see it either above the MAs or below the MAs. And that's that's that with Tesla. The next stock is Amazon. Amazon, my favorite stock. All right, Amazon, strong buy point coming in. And for those of you guys that are trading options, this is going to be a strong buy signal. I'm going to give you the number right now, 152.38. So if it takes out the 152.38 anytime this week, that's going to represent a buy. And I already have a buy limit order at that price already set in my platform. So the stop is going to go just below the current pivot, because at the time of the trigger, this will become a confirmed pivot. At this point, this is not a pivot, because we don't have the transfer from red to green just yet. We're having an inside formation. Price above the dominant MA, which is the 10 EMA, which suggests power trend. The fact that we pulled back here, we were digesting the prior high, beautiful formation. We do have room for higher, at least into the 169 to 170. And this is going to be a really good, probably 2-3 hour trade into that area. From the monthly, this is very strong as well. Finally, remember 2020, 2020 and 2021, this was the really hard phase for Amazon here. And finally, we have the breakout. So keep it in mind, every single time you're seeing this kind of grind, you're always thinking like, yeah, it's going to break out. Very few times that you're going to see breakouts that are happening, especially on a higher time frame. Most of the time, you're going to get the shakeouts. And of course, this was in sync with the market momentum that we had in 2022. Remember, everybody, all the analysts got it wrong. They were saying, oh my gosh, this is such a bear market 2023, right? Because they were expecting a continuation of this. They failed to actually look at the technical charts and see where the dominance is, right? They think that, and that doesn't apply anymore. They say that if the market is into a correction phase more than 20% or something like that, wow, we're in a bear market. No, you have to look at the technicals. We're not in a bear market. We're in a fantastic, incredible bull market. So I want something else that I wanted to share with you tonight is look at the candles that we're having, that we used to have in 2013, 14. Look at these ranges. These are super small ranges, right? And as we're going into 2018, this is the first volatility spike that we have had of this dimension. And then we're having this volatility spike. Look at the size of the candles that we have now since 2018, and look at the size of the candles that you used to have before. Okay, so it was very easy to make money here and here. A lot of traders are getting whipped because the stops are huge, and you need to know how to position size in order to stay in these trades. But yes, it is very bullish. The aggressive entry on this stock was actually right here in yesterday's session on the 8th at 146.59. And just like the first trade that we analyzed, the TQQQ, it is a 3-stage trade. First stage is 146, the second stage is 152, and the third stage is over this high of 155.80. All right, next off, CRUS. All right, so CRUS, this is the daily chart. Let's take it top down. This is mostly a stock that is incredibly whippy. It's not trading. So the overall pattern is bullish because it has the dominant highs, it has higher highs and higher lows. It's not violating by any means any lows, but it's incredibly volatile, really low volume as well, super low volume. So at this point in time, there is no trigger on the monthly. There is just a bunch of noise. The price action came back into the 200 SMA. Probably if it takes out the $86, maybe it's going to try to squeeze higher. This is not something that I would ever trade, this kind of pattern. And here as well, I mean, there are so many other patterns that are obvious and really amazing to trade where you have, beautiful parameters. But this one is, total garbage. Okay, this is a total nonsense. Wait for the price to digest above this 20 SMA, let it rip higher, and then wait for a pullback that may let's say set up between $83 and $85 or $86, and just keep it on your watch. Keep it on your watch. It's not by any means any kind of hot list or it doesn't qualify as any kind of list, but make sure that you keep it on the list somewhat. All right. Okay. So Baba is the next one. Let me just share my thoughts on, we're going to begin with the monthly chart. First of all, I had this request from one of our traders some time ago. First of all, what we're seeing here on the monthly is a double bottom formation. So this is exactly, the definition of a test into a prior low. And by the way, this is from 2015. This low created not last year, 2 years ago in 2022, when we had the most pullback that we had in a long time. And then we established a higher low. So this was the time when the price action needed to stay above this 20 SMA and trigger. It did not. It's failing right now. So if you're seeing that the price action is getting back to retest the prior low that was actually tested and formed in June 2023, I would say this is more bearish than bullish. And if it starts trading below this $69, and I would say 70 cents, you want to see it way below, it has the chance of continuing to about $58. This is more to the bearish list than to the bullish list. It doesn't have anything bullish into it. Quarterly charts, by the way, very, very weak. And take a look at the yearly charts. And remember what I said earlier about yearly charts when we were analyzing the TQQQ, which was the first symbol. It's trading in the latter half. So that means that it's going to have confluence. So if the price is going to get under $70, it's toast. It's going lower. All right. So, and this is a good short. So if you like shorting or some puts or something, this is the stock for you. The next one is SLB. All right, so SLB daily chart. Let's start with the monthly chart here. Monthly chart is much more interesting because the dominance here is established off of the 20 SMA. You could see here that the price action is attracted to the 20 and releasing higher, attracted to the 20, releasing higher. This is the stock that we have traded in our program last year. I like the fact that we have a pretty solid channel to the upside. It's not ready for any highs. However, keep in mind that if it starts trading above $54 and about 50 cents, it's going to try to do another rotation. It's going to try to do the same thing that it did here. Notice that we have the 1, 2, 3, 4 down. We had the rotation here and the price action went higher, right? We have the 1, 2, 3, 4 down here And if this week we get the price over 54.37, don't buy it here. So never buy on, you know, where you see some kind of support. That's really novice. And I don't know who came up with that idea. It's like, oh, I'm going to buy off support. No, you have to buy on confirmation off support. So that's totally different. So you got to get into this rotation over $54.37. You see this doji right here. You got to get that doji out of the picture in order to start transitioning higher towards 62. The biggest problem that we have here is that we have confluence resistance, and this is going to high impact the trajectory of price. The fact that we have the 200 simple moving average as a lid here, this is the daddy of all moving averages, and typically algorithms read the 200 SMA on any kind of technical chart, especially if it's on a higher time frame, and they release their little chewing shares where they push lower. And once the price gets above the 200 SMA, then it starts getting a little bit of traction. The reality is that hedge funds as well, they don't like to buy below the 200 SMA. So what they look to see is if the price is able to sustain the 200 SMA, and then they're buying. So you're not getting any kind of hedge fund activity here as well. The other thing is that you have these prior lows that are creating minor resistance. So you have this double whammy resistance here that is really hard to break, not unless it has some kind of news into it. Let's see how it's going to perform into earnings. And I think that's going to be one of the biggest factor for this stock to move. All right, so I hope this helped. All right, so let's take a look at my favorite stock, AVGO. All right, so AVGO, beautiful monthly extension higher. And as you guys can see here, it's almost wanting to go back into some all-time highs, okay? It's trading right here, so the monthly is set for higher. The only thing that I'm concerned about here, and I would really love to see a little bit of a pullback into this, is the fact that we're very extended from minor support. So minor support is somewhere into the $920. It's very extended to the upside. And like I said, markets can stay extended for a relatively long periods of time. So this is not a factor to say, oh my gosh, I'm going to short this. There's a reason why AVGO is where it is. And AVGO has the potential to still continue higher and still can break out higher. It's a super strong stock. It has very good technicals. It has a really good record of beating earnings. So this is something that you can actually, hold in your long-term portfolio. I just wanted to show you something else here because we've discussed this into our swing program. So we looked at AVGO. We love swinging this stock. It should be on everybody's trading universe and investment. This is one of the best investment stories in the last decade. The stock is up 9,476% since its IPO in 2009. So if you look at this massive yearly breakout. We talked about this. We started about this with the first symbol with TQQQ, the importance of having that yearly break. And this is an yearly chart. Take a look at this. This is massive to the upside, right? Really amazing. All right. So let's get back to what we see now into the market in AVGO. Same story. If the price action is going to start taking out last week's high, because last week, let's face it, who trades in the first week, right? Almost nobody. Well, I traded, but not that aggressively. And I had a really laid back approach. But if the price action is going to take out the last week's high, which the price is right here, 1102, then the price is going to start moving higher. We had a beautiful consolidation here, and this consolidation shows us, oops, wrong. All right, let me just try to get this one here. All right, this is the consolidation that I was talking about. Okay, so hear me out. All right, this is the consolidation that I was telling you guys about, and it took fairly long to break out. And as you guys can see, we have the launch pad in May, and then the breakout came in November. So when it was sideways, the fact that it was sideways showed us that the price action is compensating and is ready to explode. It was in a power trend. Like I said, it has a really, really, really amazing track record. Have it on your watch. This is a stock that you need to have on your hot list. Okay, so this is actually, if I would rate all the stocks that were mentioned in here, this is number one. Okay, this is number one. AVGO should be on your hot list. If you've ever wanted to make profits in AVGO, put it on your shopping list. Okay. Daily chart as well, build up a beautiful rotation. It just needs to take out this 20 SMA. The next target is going to be 1111. And then the second one is going to be into 1140, and it's going to go back into the highs 1150. And then from that point on, it may have a lot of traction to the upside. So we're going to give you some targets, and these are targets for the dailies. These are not going to be investing targets, but it has the potential to run through all these levels right here. So the first level after the all-time high is going to be 1180, 1200, and then it's going to expand towards 1300. Very, very strong. Microsoft. So Microsoft is, again, one of my absolute favorite stocks to trade. Meta, Microsoft, AVGO. I love to trade what algos are trading, or hedge funds are trading, and big institutions are trading. I stay away from flaky, small volume stocks. If I see that a stock is not trading at least 1 or 1.5 million shares on a daily basis, I just walk away. I have so many stocks to select from. I'm just walking away. So Microsoft, hot list, 100%, just like AVGO. And then you posted Netflix, 100% on the super hot list. Trade what is in play and what other traders and what other institutions are trading, okay? Because these are loved by institutions. Institutions love really high volume stocks. All right, so Microsoft, again, I have been in Microsoft for some time now, and this is another setup that is explosive right here. So we actually have another buy trigger into the 375.90 for some of my members that are not into that have not been into my program last year, because we literally hammer Microsoft almost on a monthly basis. But this is another buying opportunity over 375.90. It has a very strong buy signal. You can see it right here. The rotation, it's also a base breakout, same level, 375.90. And it does have a strong potential of continuing higher. Monthly chart, this is where I wanted to get into. Monthly chart has a huge, beautiful doji bar last month, because it had the ascent higher and then based, right? So if we knock the high out of next month, we're going into the stratosphere with this one as well. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful trade. Some targets for you guys in case you guys are already in and need some guidance with targets. We do have 400 as literally the first level that we're going to be looking at into the swing. This is going to be a really beautiful risk to reward ratio. All right, and let's tackle Netflix. All right, so let's tackle Netflix. We already have a signal in Netflix. You can see, like, oh my gosh, you nailed what I love to trade. Okay, buy signal 480, 465, super strong buy signal onto the weekly and onto the daily, very, very strong. And it can release higher into the 500. That's actually going to be the first target. And then here's the thing. If we tackle the 500, you can see that it's having some problems here, and you can see where the problems are coming from, right? Because we have these lows, right? So these lows are from 2020. We kind of like, didn't do much here, right? So we went up, we based, we broke out, we moved higher, and then we collapsed in 2022, but we're grinding back up. But now we're trading exactly where that 2020 and actually 2021. Oh, you're killing me. OTA gal. All right. So a really strong base here. This is going to be either the lid or it's going to start moving higher, pull back, and it's just going into new highs into the 670. What's this high right here? Into the 700. Love it. Love it. Let's see how it does into earnings. It's probably going to report earnings very soon. Yeah, I think so. I don't think it, yeah. All right. So I was gonna look when it reports earnings, but you guys can check it out. All right, so NVIDIA. Oh, if you don't have NVIDIA, I have NVIDIA in my portfolio since I think it was 2016. And this is my long-term portfolio because I have another portfolio that is a little bit shorter term. It's not like really long-term till, you know, it's into an IRA. So I have it at $36. I bought it at $36 in 2016. And then I have it in another account that I keep on going in and out, but I traded off the monthly. This is a super strong move to the upside. We actually collected a lot of profits into this. By the way, since October 2022 till now, the stock is up 292%. 292%. This is phenomenal. What I suggest in this stock, and again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not here to advise anything. This is what the advice that I would give myself. This is what I would tell myself. I would look for any kind of pullback opportunity, and I would set a buy limit order, and I would just get in some shares of NVIDIA. NVIDIA and semiconductors, I think they're going to be super hot, including AMD, Micron, etc. They're going to, and a lot of semis are very, very strong, and they have been very strong today, and they have very strong patterns. So what I love to do is, you know, kind of like set buy limit orders. What you can do is, for example, you could use some fibs. This is a desirable area where I would like to buy, for example. And yes, it requires a little bit of patience, and this is for long-term projections, right? So for long-term trading, you want to see it trading between 275 or 340, somewhere around this area. I would start putting buy limit orders around 350, 360 around this zone for investing purposes. For weekly purposes, let's take these notations out. You can see that it had a massive breakout. The breakout was actually easy to see why it broke out in such a manner, because it was a level that was tested in August. It was a level that was tested in November, and it was a level that was tested in December. And you can see here what happened. We have a triple bottom formation with a higher low. So this punched and the higher low came into the 20 SMA, rotated. This was something that was poised to happen. Any kind of pullback for, let's say, for immediate swing trades, any kind of pullback that happens into the 505 zone or even around this area may represent a good buying opportunity. Keep it in mind, the stop is going to be fairly wide, because you got to give it the pivot here into the 471. All right, and this is NVIDIA. Gorgeous NVIDIA. Gorgeous NVIDIA. I can't wait. Friday, by the way, guys, we start earnings season, and we start with financials. We have JP Morgan, we have Citi, we have Wells Fargo, Bank of America that is reporting earnings on Friday. And we also have Delta, we have BlackRock, and yeah, these are kind of like, and United Healthcare. So Friday is going to be a really big day of earnings. And let me show you the earnings calendar very, very quickly. Hold on just 1 second. All right, here it is. All right, so you can see it here. These are the stocks. This is for Friday, and we have a full counter. You can see how, and by the way, this is where the easy money is being made. This is easy money. If you're a day trader, if you're a swing trader, this is the easy money territory, because the market is gets more volume, volatility increases, and we're going to get 6 weeks starting next week with high pressure trading, which I love. I love. By the way, Apple is reporting on February 1st. Apple Meta. It's going to be a really hot day. We have 2 power players in NASDAQ that are reporting that day. Super hot. Super, super hot. All right. Any other stocks that you guys have for me? All right. Anybody in here day trading? Anybody in here trading indices, futures, not only stocks? Spies. I'm a spy trade as well. All right. Oh my gosh, like OTA gal. Like, are you in my room? Like seriously. We are in the SPY trade as well. We communicated the trade on Monday. Bullish over you can see it here. This is the daily chart. We're bullish over it, and my buy is 171.10 actually. And it continued to trade higher. Here's the thing. And today, because it was lagging a little bit, the spies were lagging a little bit, the Qs were a little bit stronger, probably. All right, so this is what we're seeing here in the pattern. 373.75 had already triggered today. It's all a matter of time till we get into the 477. I just want to show you the quarter. Despite all the bullishness into the market, did not make a new high compared to the diamonds, right? Compared to the Qs, right? So we still have not knocked off the ultimate high here. So we haven't made any all-time highs here. So it's kind of like a race, and kind of like the spies wants to prove that, yes, it could do that as well. Yearly chart, take a look at this yearly chart, guys. This is going to be a massive move for spies. I just want to show you a really longer forecast into this chart and where the SPY is heading into. So these are the targets that I have projected. I'm also in the SPY long term. And we have targets into 500, into 515, into 560, and into 600 and 700. Beautiful. Not overbought. Not overbought. It could pull back, but it's not overbought. And it's and here, if you look at it, okay, just because you have a double bottom doesn't mean overbought. And I want to make sure that I clear the air on double tops and double bottoms and all that fun stuff. If you have a dominant trend, who cares about a double bottom? It's just a little resistance. And if you get a base, and if you continue to have higher lows, it's going to blast. It's going to blast through it. And then this high is going to become the base. It's going to become the foundation for any kind of pullback and rotation from that point on. Okay. So I hope this helps. All right. Anything else, guys? Any other stocks that you guys are looking at? All right. So if you guys don't have any other questions, I just want to, show you real quick if you guys are okay with me sharing this information with you guys. All right. This is, so we do have an invitation for you guys. I'm hosting a webinar. It's for day trading futures. We're going to have one for stocks, not like, I think in a couple of weeks or so, we're going to have one for stocks as well. But if you're ready to start generating income, I have a special invitation for you guys. All right, let's put it this way. And this is going to be an event where I literally don't have a lot of room left. So we're almost nearing room capacity. And I'm not kidding you guys. We shared it on social media, and it has been a real hit. So the event is the how to become a powerhouse and how to start trading like a powerhouse and how to develop your edge in trading. And again, this is a futures event. So what I do is I specialize, and this is my primary source of income. I specialize in trading the power hour. So basically I trade the first 2 hours of the day, and I focus on 1 or maybe 2 trades per day. Instead of going in and out, in and out, in and out, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, I focus on one velocity trade. So I'm looking at a trade that could deliver more points than any kind of average scalp. So this is if you're ready to start generating income in thank you so much, David. If you want to start generating income in 2024, this is a live webinar. It is free. It's Thursday, January 11, and it's actually not from 11 a.m. It's from 1 p.m. Eastern, okay? So when you're going to hit the link, it's going to be from 1 p.m. Eastern. It's not 11 a.m. That's the typo. If you want, you could actually scan scan that code, and it's going to take you to the registration page. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys at this event. It's going to be really cool. These are my results for just to show you real quick my results from day trading. This is from my own account. From my personal account. These are the trades that were shared as well in my trading room with my traders. This is how we started the year. And also, if you're interested in seeing our performance per contract, okay, this is the realized January 2024, and this is where we're up to. Okay, so this is 1 week of trading, and this is only one contract per. This is a track sheet, so it's not through position size. It just represents how many points we are making per contract. So you can see here 25 points in the Dow, 60 points in the Dow. It shows 5 points, 44. Oh, thanks so much. Okay, yeah, so it's 11 a.m. PST, and it's 1 p.m. Eastern. All right. Oh, it doesn't show up? It doesn't show up? Okay, how about the link? All right, let me just test the link. Oh yeah, this is it. Become a trading powerhouse in 2024. This is it. All right. Yeah, this is it. All right, so David has shared the link. Okay, here's the link again. Just hit this link because I don't know the QR. I don't know if it's working or not. All right, so these are our results for 2024. In case you're going like, oh, this must be a fluke. All right, this is our 2023 performance, by the way. This is per symbol. This is January 23, and this is how much money we made at the end of the month. This is, again, a tracking session. It says 12 at noon. This is so weird. I got to check it out. It's actually from 1 p.m. It's actually from 1 p.m. Eastern. It should be from 1 p.m. Eastern. That's so weird. So weird. Anyways, so get on my list. And if you sign up, we're definitely going to send you the right timing for it. So go to TradeOutloud.com, and then you're going to get a pop-up, get on our email list, and then we're going to send you information. Oh, okay. So noon is for you. Okay, noon for you, you're central. Okay. All right. So these are for the futures trading room. This is my personal monthly performance that I'm sharing with my traders. So basically the track record that you guys see here, okay, is also illustrated over here, but it's per month. And this is the calendar view of all my trades, how many trades I did per week. How much money I made. And you could see here that we made money every single month. All right. It's every single month. Here it is. Green, 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 October, November, and December. And it's not only 2023, it's 2022 the same. You could go to our website, scroll to the very, very bottom here, and you could access our track record. Just have the patience to scroll to the very, 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 very bottom. All right. And you could see here our track performance. And this is per year. So this is 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 23, 24. Here is 24. 24 will be included at the end of the month. So this is 2023. Okay. All right. So if you decide that you want to get into this event, like I said, use this link, and I'm ready to see you there. Any other questions for me? I think this is a wrap. And OTA we could talk about it in our course, in our webinar. I could provide more details on that. I don't know if this is the time or the place to talk about that. Because there's a lot to talk about. So we're going to take our time to talk about that.